Tonight, the body of wealthy Dutch national and golf player Tob Cohen has been found. After going missing for 54 days, Cohen's body was retrieved from an underground tank within the compound of his Kitisuru home, which he shared with his estranged wife, Sarah Wairimu. DCI boss George Kinoti led a team of crime scene investigators in the exercise that lasted close to 3 hours. And in the end, Kinoti described it as a murder most foul, the body as in horrific state. And as Ken Mijungu is about to tell us, Wairimu's lawyer Philip Murgor has, however, poked holes in the DCI's theory of what may have taken place. That story is coming in shortly, of course, a very busy afternoon, and let's have a look at that.
At about 5 p.m., the police car that picked Tob Cohen's body arrived. Wrapped in a white body bag, emitting a foul smell, it was loaded and whisked away to the city mortuary. Visibly absent was Sarah Wairimu, who is in police custody.
From the onset, when this matter was reported to us, I immediately ordered this place to be preserved as a scene of crime.
The body was found here. The hands and legs were tied, the nylon rope going over the neck. Tob was dressed in a pair of blue jeans and a brown jacket. He looked like someone who was ready for an evening out. His body was wrapped in a blanket and dropped in the hole. It was then covered and freshly cemented.
It's unfortunate. I have no one, I don't know how to describe that. When we have lost one of us, it's unfortunate.
The police say they were led there by a suspect. Earlier in the week, the whole team was here and they scoured the whole house and part of the compound. Sarah Wairimu was present then, but not today.
And, there's a water tank or a sewage system at the very corner, and there was some very fresh cement covering the manhole cover. And they all knew that that's what they wanted to dig. So they dug it, they removed the cement, they removed the manhole cover. And when they removed the manhole cover, they all had torches and they peeped in, and there was something wrapped like a human body.
The police say two suspects are now in custody and investigations are almost complete, but they are sure he was murdered in this compound in the house. Kinoti says he was tortured before he eventually died. He was almost 70 years old. He loved golf and his friends from the club and family were here the whole time as this discovery was made. Tob disappeared on July 19th. His wife told the police she thought he was traveling for a medical checkup. Police later learned that there were conflicting statements and discovered he had not left the country. He was allegedly seen in a hotel in Westlands in the company of some women who were interviewed by the police. The home once shared by Tob Cohen and Sarah Wairimu Kamotho, now a ghost property. One is deceased and the other partner is in prison. I don't know for how long, but it's apparent this place is no longer an active crime scene because the DCI and of course the investigating authorities have allowed everyone who came to witness this to get into the compound and get every details possible out of the operation that has been taking place in the last few hours inside this compound.
It's unbelievable what she was possible to do to him. I did see his body. It's terrible.
We were in Brazil, we came back to Holland, put him missing, and we knew something terrible had happened.
Sarah Wairimu was due to be charged with murder on Monday. She was being divorced by the husband. Sources say this house was also up for sale, which she was opposed to. Other sources claim they quarreled a lot and she was violent. But she told the police those were normal domestic disputes. She denied knowing his whereabouts and told the police her husband was alive. Her lawyers, however, say the DCI left them out of this operation and they only learnt about it from the security guards, and even when they got here, they were initially restrained. They read mischief since two previous searches of the compound did not yield anything. They suspect those out to frame their client utilized the 16 days absence of Sarah Wairimu from the home to implicate her in the murder. Ken Mijungu, NTV.
And still on that story, Dutch tycoon, 70-year-old Tob Cohen had lived in Kenya for more than 3 decades. The travel and tours guru had filed for divorce against his estranged Kenyan wife, Sarah Wairimu, over the 500 million shilling property in Kitisuru Estate. We now look at the chronology of events leading up to the death of Tob Cohen. Let's have a look at this. On July 15th and 16th, Cohen played golf as reported at the Vetlab Sports Club. That's in Kabete. And on July 19th and 20th, the Dutch millionaire, I should say, goes missing. At the time, his Mercedes-Benz was still parked within the compound. And this is crucial because the wife said, as you can see here, that he had planned to travel to Thailand. And that was the case at that time when, of course, she was questioned. And on the same date, 19th, 20th of July, his disappearance, Cohen had filed for divorce against the wife, Sarah Wairimu, and Cohen had also filed, or rather claimed, that he was assaulted by the wife. On 20th of July, 2 letters were written purporting to withdraw both the divorce and the assault cases. The authors of those letters were unknown. On July 22nd, Cohen's wife, Sarah Wairimu, reports to Kilimani police station that Cohen had actually gone missing. And this is when detectives actually started to probe what had happened. On July 24th, the letters purporting the withdrawal of divorce and assault cases were received by Cohen's lawyers. And that's what has been happening since the millionaire went missing on July 19th and 20th. Now joining us live is our reporter Ken Mijungu, who was at the scene of crime, and to talk about the legal dimension in this, because there's already a case in court. And Ken, the defense team led by Philip Murgor did claim that they were not invited to the home by detectives, as you had reported there, something that was dispelled passionately by the DCI director.
Yes, this is because there is no law that compels the DPP or the DCI, for that matter, to move around with the prosecution side, the defense side. So when the DCI said that, he was certain that there is no law that compelled him to move with Philip Murgor and the team. However, Murgor expected to be invited to this event as a lawyer for the defendant. This is because there were 2 earlier searches, and the search on Tuesday, actually, Wairimu was within the compound. So he thought, as a matter of courtesy and as a matter of transparency, and because this is a murder case, he was, and the client was to be invited back to the compound. But as the DCI said, he is not compelled in any way. And if anything, the defense have an opportunity in court to interrogate this and even bring it before the magistrate, before court, and tell them that they were not afforded an opportunity at the beginning to join that investigative team at the time they were doing discovery.
The court has ordered for a mental assessment for the wife. Sarah Wairimu is actually one of the suspects, and they're supposed to return to court on Monday. What does this development then mean for that case?
Murder charges carry very hefty sentences or fines, for that matter. So for someone to stand trial of murder, knowing that there is a huge sentence that awaits them, the state of mind has to be assessed. That's one. The second thing that has to happen is, when you are supposed to be charged with murder, they want to determine in the right state of mind to stand trial. So this is a general practice that anyone whose sentencing, whose punishment carries such heavy penalties, have to be taken through psychiatric evaluation or mental test to determine if they are fit to stand trial. And this also is to preempt sort of the defense side not to use it as a defense in the future during the trial. So this practice, you have to stand that mental test before you can begin your case proper, especially when it carries such heavy penalties.
The finding of the body now compounds the murder case, and this has been referred, of course, by the prosecution. The finding of the body now compounds that in actuality, because now there's a body that can be claimed to have been murdered. How is the prosecution likely to move going forward?
On Monday, when they go back to court, remember, this is now after the fact. They have known that indeed they have a body. A body is a confirmation that indeed there's an event that occurred, because initially it was speculated because they could not find Tob Cohen. So there was a lot of speculation, and Tob being around 70, you and I know that we can decide to walk away without responding, or without giving someone prior notice, or even without accounting to anyone. Just walk away and never to return, and you're safe. So there's a presumption at that time that perhaps Tob just walked away. But with the body, now it's a confirmation that there is indeed crime that has been committed. So basically, when they go to court on Monday, they want to do two things. One, they want to go straight to taking plea. They want to go straight to charging Sarah Wairimu with murder now that the body has been found. Secondly, the prosecution might just opt to ask for more time to firm up their investigations now that they have a body. Remember, there is still autopsy, there is the cause of death to be determined, and this will be used as evidence, because what if it was a natural death that was just being concealed because probably someone thought that she or he would be suspected of murder, so they decided to conceal it by hiding the body. So the autopsy could just find that it was natural death. So the prosecution needs to be sure the cause of death, because this is something that will be tabled before court. They will say, well, it died as a result of a gunshot, or as a result of a knife stab, or as a result of anything that causes people's death. So when they go to court, those are the two likely scenarios. One, to ask for more time now to hold her formally and conclude the investigation, or just to charge her with murder straight up on Monday.
Quickly, Ken, one more thing. DCI Director George Kinoti, speaking after the finding of the body, was very passionate, saying that they have a case and they actually know what happened. Going forward with this case, the confidence being exuded by the prosecution, what does it mean then for the suspects?
It could only mean one thing, that they have concrete evidence that nails these two suspects that are currently in custody. One of the suspects, who we are told is highly placed in the society, and of course Sarah Wairimu, who is known. The DCI was reluctant to name this suspect, but by Monday we shall have known the name plus the pictures, probably because they have to be presented before court to take plea. So the confidence that we saw there is, one, probably they have concrete evidence to nail this suspect, and two, because they now have a body and they have a confirmation that it's murder. And remember, in a family setup, when one person disappears or died, the prime suspect is the other one. So if it's a marriage, if the husband is dead, like in this case, the first suspect becomes the wife, unless and until she's eliminated. So probably that's the kind of confidence that we saw with the DCI Kinoti.
All right, thank you so much, Ken Mijungu. Legal Affairs reporter was also at the scene of crime at Kitisuru Estate earlier this evening when the discovery was made.